wildcard weather once again here in Mesa, Arizona. And we bring you Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago. The defending World Series champions take on another playoff hopeful, the San Francisco Giants. And spring training action on CSN Chicago is presented by Canals Auto Parts. And great to have you with us for Cubs baseball. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs will leave Arizona tomorrow. I think everybody's ready at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long grind here, long spring training because of the World Baseball Classic. Cubs have pared the roster down to 30 now as we're inside a week until opening night Sunday in St. Louis.
Jake Arrieta will be the Cubs' number 2 starter after being their opening day starter last year, but he's pitched like an ace the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, Cy Young Award winner 2 years ago, an all-star last season. Man, he got off to a great start last year. He's 9-0 after the first 2 months of the season. Fell off a little bit in the second half, but was very good in the postseason again. And, of course, with Jake Arrieta, not only can he throw the ball, but he can hit it a long way. That one well over 400 feet in his last outing here in spring training. There you see the breakdown in the numbers. A .77 that ERA in his Cy Young season. Pitched to a .310 last year. He was an 18-game winner for the Cubs in 2016.
Last spring, he said to me, I'm going to win the Silver Slugger this year. And he did. So I guess we'll have to get a prediction from him.
What's next, right? and this is a big year for him, obviously, due to be a free agent at the end of the year.
It'll be Matt Cain trying to grab the 5th spot in the Giants rotation, pitching for San Francisco. Giants and Cubs from a sold-out Sloan Park. Next. Welcome back to a sold-out Sloan Park on a gorgeous Tuesday afternoon. Cubs will wrap up the Cactus League schedule tomorrow against the Oakland A's, and then it's off to Houston for 2. And then the Cubs will fly to St. Louis to begin the regular season Sunday night as John Lester will face Carlos Martinez. And the Giants actually will head back to the Bay Area for the annual 3-game series against the A's starting Thursday, and then they fly back here to begin the regular season Sunday afternoon against the Diamondbacks. Kind of a unique schedule.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd start to the season for them. They play that annual series with the Athletics, and then they'll take on division rival Arizona. Giants, a wild card representative from the NL West last year, finishing 4 games behind the Dodgers in the regular season. Of course, eliminated by the Cubs in the division series, but they got a good club again this year. Pretty good rotation, very good defensive ball club, and some turnover in the bullpen. They've added Mark Melanson as their closer. I think most people feel like there's a little bit of separation between the Dodgers and the Giants, the Dodgers being the better club, but time will tell.
Jake Arrieta, as we mentioned in the open, will be the Cubs' number 2 starter. Matt Cain still trying to get locked into the number 5 spot in the Giants rotation. The Cubs announced earlier today that Munenori Kawasaki was granted his release. We'll chat with Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, a little later on the news of the week. But you start to see that musical chair as part of the spring take place here in the final week as teams set their 25-man opening day roster.
Yeah, you look around baseball and you see, you read the daily transactions, you see more and more guys getting released, put on waivers, guys moving around, scrambling to try to find big league jobs at the end of spring training. Tough decisions to be made in most camps. The Cubs came into this spring training camp with really not a lot of decisions to be made. Still trying to make a decision on the final man on the bench between Matt Caesar and Tommy La Stella. Pitching rotation in the bullpen appears to be set. Little nagging, lingering issues over the last few days, but looks like that's going to be cleaned up. Ben Zobrist back in the lineup today. Addison Russell still out of action. I think he's going to be okay for opening day. Don't know for sure.
So the Cubs take the field, and let's get the Giants starting lineup written out by their longtime manager, Bruce Bochy. Denard Span in the leadoff spot. Brandon Belt coming off his all-star campaign last year. Hunter Pence hasn't been nearly as healthy the last 2 years as previously. Brandon Crawford will be in the cleanup spot. Jarrett Parker is in left. Connor Gillespie, who had that big series in the division set against the Cubs, will play third. Veteran catcher Nick Hundley will bat seventh. Toby Tomlinson's at second, and the aforementioned Matt Cain bats ninth.
See where the Cubs are positioned defensively this afternoon. A little different look in the outfield. John Jay's going to slide over and play left this afternoon. Jason Hayward will get a start in center field. And Zobrist back in the lineup. He's in right today. La Stella, Young, Baez, and Rizzo third to first. Miguel Montero is behind the plate, and he'll be catching the veteran right-hander Jake Arrieta. He's made 3 starts in Cactus League play this spring, 10 innings, 13 hits, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. An 18-8 pitcher last year with a 3.10 ERA. Arrieta yielded a 194 batting average against last season, tops in Major League Baseball.
Mike Casiopo is the plate umpire. Ted Barrett, Joliet, Illinois native Mark Carlson, and Chris Siegel are on the bases.
Can't play today? You can't play. Picture perfect day. Lovely, not too hot. A little bit of a breeze. Looks like it's pushing it out to right.
And we have a developing attendance situation. Last year, the Cubs set a spring training record, averaging 15,078 per game here at Sloan Park. They go into these final 2 here at home, averaging 15,075. So they're 3 people off the mark. I have a feeling they're going to break it.
Yeah, I'm going to come tomorrow just to help.
I don't
want to be accused
of
not doing my part. I'm going to buy a ticket.
You should buy a ticket.
Yeah.
That would help. Denard Span starts it and takes a strike from Arrieta. Span signed a 3-year contract with the Giants prior to last season. And he hits one to deep right. Zobrist will watch it go. That's a leadoff homer on the second pitch. Span, who had a career-high 11 last year, makes it 1-0. It's his second of the spring.
Yeah, when you think of Denard Span, you really don't think about home runs, but he did go double digits last year, and he just jumped on a fastball from Jake Arrieta. They're trying to throw it over the outside part of the plate and down a little bit. He got a good chunk of home plate and was up above the knees, and Span put a good swing on it. Before they could even settle in on the berm.
Brandon Belt, a foul tip strike on a bunt attempt. He turns 29 in April. First time All-Star last year. Good curveball from Arrieta. Boy, that was a dive bomber.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why he had that 194 batting average against. His stuff is off the charts good. And from one start to the next, it's hard to identify what his best pitch is. Sometimes it's that cutter / slider. Sometimes the curve. He's got a good changeup. And, of course, a plus fastball in terms of both velocity and movement. Command got a little leaky at times last year, especially in the second half of the season.
Elevated. It's 1-2. And he got him. That almost didn't seem fair, did it?
Yeah, that breaking ball makes hitters shake their heads.
So he's got the crossfire action. You know, not a lot of moving parts when he begins his delivery, but when you think about the 30-start stretch or so that he had that was as good as any I think you and I have ever seen, it may be more amazing that he was able to repeat that delivery as much as he did versus occasionally having issues finding the strike
right,
zone.
And that was, you know, when the Cubs acquired Jake from Baltimore, that was the issue. He always had plus stuff, but he had a hard time repeating his delivery and commanding his pitches.
Hunter Pence on the DL 4 times combined the last 2 years. He had been known as an Iron Man, basically would play every day.
Yeah, and he plays with a lot of zeal every day. Hard-nosed guy, really gets after it. Played 106 ball games last year.
Backed off the plate. Pence suffered a broken forearm 2 springs ago. I think it was a Cactus League opener. Corey Black, who was in Cubs camp, hit him with the pitch. 3-2. Brandon Crawford on deck.
If you were a teammate of Hunter Pence, I think you would be inclined to nickname him Twitch.
Swing and a miss. Yeah.
Well, some pitchers will tell you that early in spring training they're working on fastball and fastball command, and they worry about the secondary pitches a little bit later on, and they make sure they have those ready to go. And clearly that appears to be the case with Arrieta. That curveball is game ready.
Crawford has won the Gold Glove each of the last 2 seasons, although he did make 2 critical throwing errors in the decisive Game 4 against the Cubs in the division series. One and one the count. Now the Giants, since 2010, have won 3 World Series, so I suppose that softened the blow a little bit, but that might have taken a few weeks to get over, how they couldn't hold a 3-run lead in the 9th inning of Game 4, knowing that they would have had Johnny Cueto on the mound for Game 5.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of what-ifs going on in the Giant clubhouse after that game and with the Giant players and staff for a few weeks after. Again, it's the nature of baseball, and you're always optimistic too. Man, we had Cueto ready to go. Well, they're coming back to Chicago. It wouldn't have been an easy game to win, but I know Joe Madden had his concerns about dealing with Cueto again.
Span hit the second pitch of the ball game out of the park. Arrieta has struck out 2 since, and he's ahead of Crawford 1-2.
Change piece. Not close enough to the plate to get him to bite. Crawford, a good offensive player too. You mentioned the Gold Gloves, but he could swing it about a 275 last year. 12 home runs, drove in 84.
Deep left. John Jay will have to play it off the wall, and actually it'll be Hayward backing him up. Crawford with a 2-out double.
Good work by Crawford. This pitch is outer third. He doesn't try to pull it, just rides it the other way. Good work by Hayward backing up.
Now the left fielder, Jarrett Parker, is trying to spent his first full season in the big leagues. 3 stints last year. And a little time the year before that. Second round pick, 2010, out of the University of Virginia. Two balls, no strikes. Make it 3-0.
Yeah, Parker strikes out a lot, but he'll also take his walks.
And a base hit on a 3-0 swing, and Crawford will score. It's 2-0.
Arrieta pitched the game against the Giants early in the year last year at their place, and he put up very good numbers, pitched a good ball game, but man, they really made him work, and that's the one thing about this Giant lineup. For the most part, they're patient guys. They see a lot of pitches. They don't hit a ton of home runs. Of course, they got off to a great start last year. They had the best record in all of baseball at the All-Star break, and then we're down near the bottom of the league in terms of wins in the second half of the season, so it was kind of a weird year for the Giants, racing off to that lead and then having to hang on tight to secure a playoff spot.
Now Connor Gillespie fouls away. He hit the game-winning homer in the ninth off Jeurys Familia in the wild card game to beat the Mets. That was his postseason debut, and then against the Cubs, he had a 4-for-4 game. Game 4. Go-ahead triple in Game 3. That was off of Aroldis Chapman. And he was a fill-in for Eduardo Nunez. Knocked in 6 of the Giants' 16 runs in the playoffs.
He might have the biggest knob in the league. That's a big knob he's wielding up there.
Yes, it is. That is an astute observation.
Well, that's why they pay me. But that's kind of the fun thing about the postseason, right?
Right.
How these guys kind of rise up out of nowhere.
And fouled off. We may have to get word to the Giants clubhouse to clarify your comments. Because you know how this stuff goes, right?
Yeah.
They
knob of the bat.
No. The knob of your bat. So it looks like it's taped, right? Is that tape around the knob? Awkward swing. That ball deflected by Arrieta. Safe at first, Gillespie.
That's a heck of a pitch. You know, he's throwing those good curveballs in this inning, and hitters have to be aware of that. So they go hard in, and it's kind of an emergency hack, kind of a panic late swing to make contact, and it pays off for Gillespie. A little squibber out there off the glove of Arrieta, and by the time Young gets there, Gillespie able to beat it. So a good pitch, but not a great result for Arrieta. Yeah, you got a little something going on there. Old school too, no batting gloves.
Yep. Ball one on Nick Hundley.
Now normally in spring training, what a lot of clubs like to do with their starting pitchers is push them real hard in their second to last start, and then back off the gas pedal a little bit in their final start of the spring. So I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do with Arrieta here today, but you know, he's got a full week before he starts. So I would think, unless he's really laboring, they'd like to get him to 90 pitches here today.
Well, he's over 30 here in the first inning.
And no doubt between now and his opening assignment, he'll have a couple of pretty intense side sessions as well.
Speaking of over 30, that's generally been the makeup of the Giants roster under Brian Sabian's watch. They've had veteran rosters for the most part. Mentioned Span's 33, Belt turns 29 coming up. Hunter Pence is 33. Crawford is 30. Buster Posey is not playing today, but yesterday he turned 30. Probably the best catcher in the game. Ooh. That loads the bases.
Chris Bosio is going to come out of the Cubs dugout and have a chat with Arrieta. Here they're trying to go away with the fastball. Boy, he just really loses it. It really flies open.
So the stuff, as we noted earlier, has been darting in and out all over the place, but that also may be part of the issue. Now Tomlinson, the second baseman. And a strike. I would imagine Montero will match up with Jake a fair amount, depending on the opposing pitcher. They have worked together a lot these last couple of years. Wilson Contreras hit 2 home runs last night, catching John Lester. Swing and a miss. Giants leave them loaded. They get 2, however, on the Span homer and the Parker single. Cubs are coming up when we come back.
During baseball
We saw the Cubs in Las Vegas score 22 on Sunday in a win over the Cincinnati Reds. Ben Zobrist back in the lineup, first time in over a week. Jason Hayward's playing center today. Anthony Rizzo led off that game Sunday with a first pitch home run. Good to see Javier Baez back. Third game since the WBC. Montero, La Stella, Jay is in left. The pitcher Arrieta batting 8th. Chesney Young, the second baseman, hitting 9th.
Giants defensively, and this was a good bunch last year. They committed 72 errors, fewest in Major League Baseball. This afternoon they run out an outfield of Parker, Span, and Pence. The Gillespie, the Gold Glover Crawford, Tomlinson, and Belt on the right side of the infield. Mick Hundley making a tour of the NL West. He's been a Padre, a Rocky, now he's a Giant. He'll be the backup this year. Today he catches the veteran right-hander Matt Cain. It's been a rough go for Cain this spring with an ERA above 8.
Injury-plagued 2016 for the 32-year-old.
Yeah, that's been a big part of his story the last 3 years. You think of Matt Cain, for the bulk of his career, you think workhorse. 30-plus starts, 200-plus innings of quality work year in and year out. But 8 trips to the DL over the last 3 seasons.
Working quickly here. Zobrist in the air. That ball carrying, but is going to stay in the yard right in front of the track. It's Pence. So 1 away, now Jason Hayward. It's kind of hard to believe. Matt Cain's major league debut was back in 2005. He was in his early 20s.
Yeah, he was a Giant back when they were bad before they started doing all this winning. His career record is 101 and 107. With a very respectable 3.57 ERA.
But you're right, from 2006 to 2013, he made at least 30 starts every year. 3-time All-Star during that span. You saw him throw a perfect game. And early in his career, his ERA was always better than his record, right? He had a couple of weird seasons. 200 inning years, he went 7-16 and then 8-14, but ERAs in the mid 3s.
Yeah, and just rock solid, very dependable. A great tandem of he and Lincecum, but Father Time catches up. All those innings catch up to you. So even though he's only 32, there's a lot of wear and tear on that arm, and the velocity. For his peak velocity back in the day, he rushed up there. He touched 97 on occasion, sit pretty comfortably 93, 94. Now you would have to say his velocity is probably a little bit below major league average.
Good eye by Hayward. 3-2, Rizzo on deck.
So he's tried to counter that by throwing more cutters, just trying to create a little late movement. Always had a pretty good changeup and a breaking ball.
Pop foul, and this will make the seats behind the Giants dugout.
Always a tough decision for a pitcher and for those around him, pitching coach, manager, people trying to help him make that transition from a power pitcher to more of a finesse type pitcher. The buy-in, how far do you go and trying to reinvent yourself?
And he got him. That was a changeup.
Right, so that's my point. Do you become a guy who throws a whole lot more of those than you ever have in the past, realizing that your fastball is just maybe not good enough to get it done anymore? Try dropping your arm angle to create a different look. Take a swath of sandpaper out to the mound with you, see if that works.
Oh, that happened a lot more often like when you were pitching.
Well, when I was a pitcher, not necessarily when I was pitching.
Got it.
Let's clarify.
Yes, that was the era, wasn't you? Cubs go in order. 2-0
Numbers
Giants.
would support that. Lead as we head to the second inning. Cubs spring training baseball is always live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball.
Great to have you with us on CSN Chicago, and we want to welcome those viewers watching on MLB Network today as well. Gorgeous day here in Mesa. Giants and Cubs as we near the end of the Cactus League. Matt Cain takes a strike. Low career average at 119, but he does have 7 career home runs. Slowly bounced to second. Easy play, Chesney Young. Span with a leadoff home run. Nice play, Arrieta, but the throw pulls Rizzo off the bag. Guessing infield hit.
Yeah, I think a little better play for LaStella there. It's a tough read to make. As a pitcher, you're just trying to get whatever you can get to. And with him drifting towards third base, having to throw that ball back across his body, I think there's a better chance. I'm not saying that LaStella definitely would have had him, but a better chance for LaStella to make that play than there was for Arrieta. And in a perfect world, that's a situation where you want your third baseman letting it be known that that's his play.
So a home run and a bunt single for Span.
This guy can do it all.
Kyle Schwarber actually did that in a game last week. Swing and a miss. You have always been bullish on Brandon Belt.
Yeah, I always liked
for
this
good
guy.
reason.
He, had some injury problems earlier in his career that held him back.
Span goes, and unlike Kyle Schwarber in that game I mentioned, Span not caught stealing as he steals second. A good play by Tommy LaStella. Cubs shifting against Brandon Belt. There was nobody covering third until LaStella realized it. A little bit of a collision there with Baez.
Looks like Javi was actually looking at him there as he went to apply that tag.
That's novel.
What's next? Between the legs? Yeah, Belt, 17 home runs last year. Played almost every day. There have been times in his career where that has not been the case.
Over 100 walks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, high on base. He hit 41 doubles. At the .394 on base percentage, good for fifth in the NL.
Called strike three. So 4 of the 5 outs Arrieta has recorded have been strikeouts.
Well, and you think back to Belt's first at bat, he saw all those curveballs, and so probably thinking breaking pitch there and just can't react to the good heater.
It'll be a wild pitch, and Span is going to try to score. Throw to the plate. He's safe. How about a 2-base wild pitch?
Well, Span on full display here today. Home run, bunt, single. Now mad dash from second on the wild pitch. This is extra wild. Tough one for Montero to block, and then it takes that funky Karen back towards the Cubs dugout. And maybe Boz should have made a play on that one as it rolled by him. Would have been the best chance.
One on Pence. Here it is. 2 balls and a strike. And 3-1. Pence, a Houston Astro to begin his career. And the Phillies, now the Giants. And he has really become a, I would say, cult hero, but I think even more than that. With all the success the Giants have had. I think these two fan bases are pretty similar. They really grow attached to their players in San Francisco, don't they?
Yeah, and two of the great atmospheres in all of baseball, Wrigley Field and out there at AT&T Park. There's a great vibe in both ballparks.
Giants will play 4 at Wrigley in late May, and then the Cubs will head to San Francisco in early August for 3. And it wouldn't be a bit surprising if they met up again in October. He gets him. So 5 strikeouts for Arrieta, but he trails 3-0 early. Cubs trail 3-0. They'll bat here in the bottom of the second. And our Cubs insider from CSNChicago.com is Patrick Mooney. This is always a fun week to try to figure out the 25-man roster. News from this morning, Munenori Kawasaki released, but sounds like he could make his return at some point depending on his options.
Yeah, I think this is more of a procedural thing than anything else. Let him see what's out there. And Joe Madden hopes he circles back. I think last year he called him predicted to be one of the most popular athletes in Chicago history. I think he's not quite there yet, but they definitely love his energy and enthusiasm.
Javier Baez lines to Span. So in terms of the pitching, we know the 5-man rotation. Bullpen, maybe a spot still up in the air, and then the last spot on the bench. And that's pretty much it. And based on what Joe said today, Addison Russell feels like he should be ready to go Sunday with the bat, right?
Yeah, he said DL is not a consideration at all, and I actually think Addison opened the door a little bit more than Joe did, particularly with the 10-day DL now that you can backdate to March 30th. But Addison said he's at around 95%, so I think we'll see him in St. Louis. And obviously Zobrist getting back in the lineup is another good sign for this team.
There's Montero. How would you handicap the La Stella Caesar battle?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think Joe, the other day when he was talking, we were trying to figure out all the layers of meaning of what he was saying. Was he saying it to other teams interested in acquiring Matt Caesar? Was kind of boosting his confidence? And I think he does genuinely really like the guy. I mean, he's a great guy in the clubhouse. He's really good in that particular role. I think it's just Caesar and Albert Almora Jr. maybe a little too similar for this roster.
Well, the outfield depth is pretty remarkable on this team. We think of the 4 outfielders we've seen out there most of the time, Schwarber, Jay, Almora, and Hayward, but Chris Bryant and Ben Zobrist have spent significant time in the outfield. And in an emergency, you really have a 7th guy in Wilson Contreras. So, that numbers game might, unfortunately for Matt, not play to his advantage.
Yeah, and the one advantage he does have is that there's still options on Tommy La Stella, so he could be sent to AAA. I would imagine right now they're just exploring all their options in terms of a trade with Caesar. And because, as you've mentioned throughout the spring, Caesar's having a real nice spring, and he's a good player, but once the season starts and the at-bats dry up, which player has more value? And La Stella, to me, he gives you such a good at-bat against really good pitching. I mean, his bat speed, his approach at the plate, some of the power arms that you deal with late in games. I think La Stella really competes well in that situation. So I think that's where the decision lies. But, they both have value, but I think La Stella in that pinch hitting role probably, for a guy coming off the bench, maybe a little more valuable.
Well, the good part of the good problem and the problematic part of the good problem, Patrick, is they're both big league players. And they're both probably not going to make it. That's the tough part.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Caesar might be like the 8th outfielder here and could probably be a really solid 4th outfielder on maybe half of, Major League Baseball right now. So I think ultimately the best thing for his career is probably getting out of Chicago. It's just a matter of, the Cubs would like to get some minor league pitcher who has options, a guy who could maybe contribute in their bullpen at some point. But obviously that deal hasn't presented itself yet or during this past offseason.
Well, Stella hits this ball hard, but Parker will run it down. Patrick, always a pleasure, and we'll probably chat with you in St. Louis next week. Thanks for stopping by.
Welcome back, folks. The legendary James Taylor returns to Wrigley Field on Monday, July 17th with special guest Bonnie Raitt. Don't miss your chance to see this Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Tickets are available now. Cubs.com/James Taylor.
It's been kind of an odd start for Jake Arrieta. He has struck out 5 Giants in the first 2 innings, but he's given up 5 hits and 3 runs.
Yeah, fastball command has been the primary issue here today. Made some mistakes outside of the zone and a couple inside the zone. You compare his last 2 seasons, the biggest difference is the walk rate. Significantly higher last year than the year before. Although the year before was a historically good year. Just about any pitcher season is going to pale in comparison. 2015, Jake walked 1.89 batters per 9 innings. Last year, it was 3.47 per 9.
Hit hard, but John Jay is there to make the catch.
Put it this way, if we were playing Let's Make a Deal with Monty Hall, and I were to say to you, Jake Arrieta is going to give you 197 innings this year, and he's going to pitch to a 3.10 ERA, would you say I'll take it, or I'll take what's behind the curtain?
I would take it.
I would take it too. Because you open that curtain, it could be a shiny new car, it could be a goat.
Oh, we don't deal with goats anymore. Hey, good to see. The Giants' first-year first base coach, Jose Alguacil, recently returning to his post. He suffered broken nose earlier this spring. Smoked by a foul ball. Bouncer to Rizzo, and Arrieta to the bag. 2 outs. He was not at first when the injury happened. He was in one of the folding chairs outside the dugout. No fun. Bruce Bochy was quoted. He was sitting right next to Alguacil. He said, it was so quick I barely saw it. And if you think about the intimate nature of these ballparks, you have no time to react. I mean, you're basically an on-deck hitter. You're sitting on one of those chairs.
Yeah, and with, they always bring extra guys, so the dugouts are really crowded, so that they throw those folding chairs out there. And obviously, it's spring training; it's a more relaxed atmosphere. But you are a little more exposed there.
Oh, 2 on Gillespie. So if you're sitting at home going, yeah, I've always noticed that, why do they do it? Well, I think 2 main reasons, right? That you have extra players, so you've got a packed dugout. And the side benefit is the coaches can kind of talk amongst themselves, and they don't have to worry about the players necessarily listening in.
And plus, it's baseball, and it's been going on for years, and that's what happens in baseball.
Because that's just what they do.
What we do, yeah.
Still 3-0 Giants in the 3rd.
Hello.
Friday at 1, it is the spring training finale. We're in downtown Houston for day 2 of a quick 2-gamer against the Astros. Spring training baseball on CSN is brought to you by Canals Auto Park. Even though it has been a longer spring due to the WBC, it has gone quickly. First game here was February 25th. John Jay leading off the bottom of the 3rd and takes a Cain fastball for a strike. 6 up, 6 down for Matt Cain.
Cain in competition with Ty Block to be the 5th starter in the Giants rotation. It appears that it's going to be his job. I think they're paying him, what, $20 million this year. And I don't know how well his game would play out of the bullpen. So I think, they'll give him a few starts in the rotation to see if he can get off to a good start and put together some quality innings. And then maybe if it doesn't pan out, they would make a change.
Ty Block is the other guy in that mix, and could be similar to the Montgomery Anderson scenario. One guy just seems to fit better as a starter. Swing and a miss. For strike 3. That changeup's been a good pitch for him here today. And now it's Arrieta. He hit a home run in his last start in Scottsdale. Wind was howling out, but it still was measured at 465 feet. There you go. Since 2000, these two pitching staffs have led the way in home runs. Will John Lester go deep this year?
Do he and Lackey have his bet again this season?
I would assume.
Just carry it over from last year. I think the wager last year, it was the way it was stated, it was whoever hits the most home runs. Of course, neither one of them did. Lester had one in spring training. So I think now it should be whoever hits the first home run. John did have an RBI knock in the ball game last night.
Arrieta broke his bat.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that John Lester will hit a home run this year.
Okay. Joe Madden calls John Lester not only the best bunter on the pitching staff, but the best bunter on the team. That will get into left. Should be the first Cub hit. And with no Travis Wood, although once he was in the bullpen, you didn't see him nearly as much as a pinch hitter. I think the one guy in between starts we could see early in a game off the bench would be Arrieta.
Yeah, he's legit. I mentioned Silver Slugger winner last year, and not a fluke. He works hard at it. He's got a good swing.
So the Cubs are on the hit board, and Kane will work out of the stretch against Chesney Young, who's playing second base.
Chesney played shortstop the other day in Las Vegas. That's going to be his ticket to the big leagues. A line drive, high average hitter who can play a lot of different positions. Not a power guy. Prove me wrong, Chesney.
And there it goes. Famous last words, Jim Deshaies.
Oh, Chesney Young, what will you leave us this time? He's going to leave the yard. He did hit one in Vegas the other day. It was kind of a windblown job. Take that, Mr. Announcer Man. Tell the people I don't hit for power. An ambush from the 9-hole. Oh, that one drifted on Kane. Pretty swing. His third home run this spring. Chesney Young is a power threat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm amending my position.
You are still correct in your analysis, and I think Chesney would agree with you. And that's a part of his game that I think he has specifically tried to improve.
Yeah, he and a whole lot of other baseball players, right? The modern hitter. trying to get the ball in the air, drive the ball over the outfielders' heads, not so much getting on top, hitting it on a line, or hitting it hard on the ground, as so many young hitters are taught.
Zobrist in the leadoff spot today, and he draws a walk. And now Hayward. Look out. 1-0 on Hayward. With all the talk about his new swing, I think in the first week it'd be nice just to see a couple of 2 or 3 hit games. And once that confidence builds, I don't think people really talk about the mechanics, right? We just talk about a guy as a hitter. But we've been so laser focused on kind of where are his hands.
Yeah, and I think a little early success would just free him up mentally.
Sure. Because I really do believe that part of what happened last year was mental and not just about the mechanics in his first year as a Cub. And invariably in year 2, you'll hear a John Lester, or I think in this case Jason Hayward, admit, yeah, you know, that it takes a year to adjust. Signed a big 8-year contract. Now it ended in a World Series championship, so that helps, but
yeah, and it's hard to crawl inside the head of a player who, you know, very few guys have signed those kinds of deals, right? So changes always can be problematic for guys, and then couple that with the expectations of a huge contract. It's kind of next level anxiety for a player who's not performing well.
One and one on Rizzo. 0 for 1 today. I was on Buster Olney's podcast this week, and he referenced the Rizzo leading off the other day, and he said, do you think Joe would do it at some point this year? And I could see it. Just go, hey, Schwarbs, you're hitting third. Anthony, you're leading off today. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. Just do it once or twice.
Or David Schwarber wasn't playing, and so who's going to lead off today? Well, let Rizzo do it. Did in Vegas the other day, came to the ballpark, said, let me hit lead off. First pitch he saw, he hit in the seats.
Swing and a miss. 2-run homer, Chesney Young, and that gets the Cubs on the board and within 1. It's 3-2 Giants after 3. Now's Auto Park.
Introducing the Cubs' new instant mobile ticketing offer. The MLB.com Ballpark app is your free, secure, and convenient way to instantly access Cubs tickets via your mobile device. Download the app at the App Store or Google Play and begin using Ballpark today. For more information, visit Cubs.com/ballpark app.
You are ready for the regular season.
Hit it hard like Chesney Young.
Hundley fouls away.
Hundley's been around the big league scene for a good while now. Every now and then Bruce Bochy likes to give Buster Posey a semi-day off. We'll play him a little bit at first base, putting up some maybes for the backup catcher.
Young in the grass.
Now let me ask you this. Does Chesney Young use a oversized glove for a middle infielder, or is it because of the color of that glove that it looks big to me?
You mentioned that the other day.
Yeah.
I think it's the color.
I think so too.
Middle infielders tend to have really small gloves. That's a strike, well located, 1-1.
And sometimes as a training tool, they'll use a really, really tiny one and take fungos with that. Sometimes they'll use a paddle, like a ping pong paddle,
right,
just to trust the hands, to soften the hands, get used to making a quick transfer from one hand to the other.
When we were at Chase Field a couple of years ago, Bob Brenly brought over one of Joe Garagiola's old catcher's mitts, and it wasn't hinged. It was just like hanging.
Yeah, the old pillow with a little hole. Yeah.
I'm thinking, how in the world did you catch a ball with this glove? 6th strikeout for Arrieta. Now, you'd never, unfortunately, be able to do it with major pro sports athletes, but I've often considered if someone should start some sort of league in various sports with old-time equipment. A wooden tennis racket league.
Yeah. Well, there are those old-time baseball leagues where they do play by the old rules and use old equipment. It's not professional.
Right. That would be fun to watch. Kane strikes out. Arrieta has really settled in nicely. He has retired 8 in a row.
Welcome back, 3-2 ball game. Giants lead, bottom of the fourth. Whether the Cubs are home or on the road, guided tours of legendary Wrigley Field are available. Tours may include visits to the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses over 100 years of history. Book your tour at Cubs.com/tours today.
Good day, I'd say, at the old ballpark, but it's not very old. Cubs spending their fourth spring here at Sloan Park. 77 degrees. Javi Baez lined to center in the second. Third game back after a terrific World Baseball Classic with Puerto Rico. He only missed a week of Cubs camp to play in that tournament.
In so many ways. There's the no-look. We got him tagged, making the call and the tag. And then watch the swim move here to avoid the tag at third base.
He did the old swim move as he avoids the tag. And the call is overturned.
I guess he said he didn't even realize he did the no-look thing. Kane with the 0-2, spiked it.
Yeah, I think Matt Kane in his prime would probably be inclined to elevate a fastball in a situation like this. After some soft stuff down in the dirt, just try to blow a heater by him about, mask high on Nick Hundley.
Mike Montgomery getting loose. So are you saying you have to be a little more creative now if you're Matt Cain than
yeah,
previously?
You just have to, I think you just, that's the challenge is, can you reinvent yourself?
Gillespie with just enough room.
And it's hard because this is a guy who, with a certain assortment of pitches, had success, a lot of success, for a long time in this league. So at one point, are you willing to abandon that to change the game plan?
Yeah, as you said, everybody goes through it. I think Felix Hernandez is kind of going through that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
One of the classic examples of that was Frank Tanana.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Lefty.
Folks remember from years ago, Tanana went from an overpowering guy to a real finesse type pitcher.
So, are there some cases where a starting pitcher, like a Matt Cain, foul, just foul, might look at a reliever who has basically gone along the same track in their careers, but the reliever still throws 95 and he's going, gosh, I wish that could be me.
Oh,
if you think about some of the
yeah.
relievers, Billy Wagner, obviously Aroldis Chapman, I mean, they've been able to maintain their velocity because they throw 65, 70 innings a year.
Right.
Now the reliever's going, yeah, but Matt, you've made $60 million more than I have. 2-2.
Yeah, so you get into that whole debate about quality versus quantity. And it's not to say that it's easy to make that transition either, to just go, okay, I'm going to become, this kind of a pitcher all of a sudden.
Tommy La Stella on deck. 3-2 on Montero. These guys have matched up a lot over the years. Montero, a former Arizona Diamondback.
I think every pitcher in the game could take a lesson from a guy like Jamie Moyer. And Jamie was never really a hard thrower, but the fact that he was able to pitch as long as he did, changeup, cutter, sinker. I think the cutter really prolonged his career, because when I think of Jamie, I think of sinkers and changeups away and really living away to those right-handed hitters. And then I think he got to a point in his career, kind of a crisis point where things were going south, and that's when he started throwing more cutters, and that opened things back up for him. So he could survive with that, 83, 84 mile an hour sinker.
Now, you would know better than I, having been a teammate at one point, but was Nolan Ryan's repertoire from really day one till the final day the same? Did he have to make any major adjustments?
He added it through more changeups later in his career.
The 1-0 to La Stella is on the corner. Two and two. Giants beat the Cubs on the first day of the Cactus League 8-6 in Scottsdale. Giants will fly to San Francisco after this game. Cubs have one more here and then head to Houston.
These teams will meet at Wrigley Field. A 4-game set, May 22nd through the 25th. And then the Cubs will head to San Francisco in early August for a 3-game set. San Francisco in August is usually a pretty good break. Get out of the heat. Costello's a tough guy to finish off.
I was worried you were going to be 0 for 2.
Yeah, that was 2.
He was going to strike him out.
Mm-hmm. But you can't stop going out on that limb.
No, you can't. You can't.
Because even if he finishes them off, I can say, well, it wasn't easy. See, we fought off a couple of good changeups there to stay alive.
Well, your 3-2 foul ball theory is coming in handy too. You usually change the percentage every once in a while, but back of third, it'll be the shortstop Crawford. Boy, that wasn't easy to finish him off.
No
though.
way. That was a battle.
3-2 Giants at the end of 4 from Mesa. Hey, Cub fans, is this year's team equipped to defend the title? Join David Kaplan and new pre- and post-game analyst David DeJesus for the Cubs season preview show presented by GMC tonight at 10:30 on CSN. Here's Mike Montgomery. He will begin the season in the Cubs bullpen.
The discussion throughout much of the spring was, would it be Montgomery or Anderson in the rotation? Montgomery will start the season in the pen. You see his numbers for the spring, 0-2 with a .573 earned run average. Real nice job for the Cubs last year and really became a go-to guy for Joe Maddon in the postseason. And as you know, he was out there to finish off Game 7 of the World Series.
Facing Span, it takes a strike. Denard Span, leadoff homer in the first, bunt single, stolen base, scored from second on a wild pitch in the second. He's got that funky front foot pointed almost back at the catcher as he gets ready to hit. In on the hands that time, 0-2. Looks like former Cub Jorge Soler will start the season with Kansas City on the DL. He's got a strained oblique. Chris Coghlan, released by the Phillies.
Scooter Gennett is now a Cincinnati Red.
The rare intra-divisional trade. Although it was, I guess, a waiver claim, right?
Yeah, he was put on waivers. I don't know if it was if the intent was to release him or the Reds put in a claim and then they were able to work out a trade. I'm not sure exactly how it went down.
Three-two pitch, hit hard and run down by Hayward.
Comfortable feeling for a pitcher when the ball is hit in Jason Hayward's direction. The ball was hit hard. It's been a really nice day for Span, but I hang with him that time.
Belt facing a lefty today for the first time. Probably doesn't mind. He struck out both times against Arrieta. Belt had that really good year last year, but he went just 2 out of 15 in the division series against the Cubs. Barely escaped harm there.
Trying to snap off curveball here and just didn't finish the pitch. Backs up a little bit on him. A little crisis moment there for Belt. I was going to take that one to the forearm.
Left field long run, John Jay. And it lands foul. Unfortunately, he's all right.
Not sure if that was a dive or a stumble or what, but it was kind of ugly, and he was running out of real estate there before he had to contend with that wall. Just a little bit of a late lunge.
So 3-2 on the first two batters of the inning.
Really going to be interesting to see how Joe Madden deploys his bullpen this year. He's got Wade Davis over from the Royals in the Soler deal to close. He's got a lot of high leverage late inning options with Uehara, Rondon, Strop, Montgomery. I think he trusts in such situations.
Right. Would he use Montgomery? 2 out of the 3 guys are lefties in like a 6th inning spot if you want to take the starter out. Or would he save him for later?
And that's one of the reasons why he doesn't want his left-handed starters going back-to-back in the rotation. He wants, if you start a right-handed pitcher, you like to have left-handed relievers available to neutralize what you expect to be a heavily laden left-handed hitting lineup. We've got Brian Dunsing, who's kind of a lefty specialist. Montgomery's stuff plays really well against both right and left-handed hitters.
I think you'll see Uehara used at times like a lefty specialist with the splitter.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a challenge to keep all these guys sharp.
That's foul. And the other thing that's intriguing is Montgomery being a multi-inning reliever.
Right, so he's the perfect guy, right, to come in behind the righties. Start Arrieta, Hendricks, Lackey, one of those starts. A little wobbly in the 6th inning. All of a sudden, you got a bunch of left-handed hitters. Okay, bring Montgomery in, give him 2+, let him finish an inning, give him 2 more. Force the other manager to either give up those advantages and have left-handed hitters face a tough lefty, or make an early move to his bench for pinch hitters. That's why it's nice to have a couple left-handed options out there. You don't have to play that game of when to deploy that one lefty.
Well, the right problem, because the bullpen stuff's never perfect, is we need to get guys more innings as opposed to they're pitching way too much.
Right.
And that was the case last year. The rotation was so good, you had very few days where there were guys just completely off limits. That's a fair ball. Past Stella. Well, Pence was picking on that left field corner throughout the at-bat, and he finally found it.
Yeah, out on his front foot a little bit, but he kept the hands through the zone and flipped that ball down the third base line. It's never really pretty with Hunter Pence, but it's usually effective.
Crawford's hit the ball hard both times. This time not so much, and Rizzo will take it to first. And that's that for the Giants, halfway home on a Tuesday from Arizona, 3-2 San Francisco. Well, let's check out the first couple of weeks of the Cubs season, and you see 3 off days early. That's the other part of getting everybody some work. So the Sunday night game in St. Louis, our regular season debut on CSN Plus will be Game 2, which will be started by Arrieta. At Milwaukee, and then back home, Dodgers and Pirates to start the Wrigley Field portion of the schedule. Giants have made some defensive changes as Jay rolls foul. Chris Marrero is at first. Juan Ciriaco is playing short. Gorkys Hernandez in center, and ex-Cub Justin Ruggiano is in right. And a base hit.
Let's see if Mike can get a bunt down here.
That would be the play.
Although, with Joe, not so much.
No, what we've noticed from Joe Madden these first 2 seasons is he gives his pitchers a chance many times to swing away, and then later in the count.
Yeah, a lot of times it's not till there's 2 strikes, then he'll have them try to put a sacrifice bunt down. You know, late game situations, obviously, that changes when it's all about playing for a run. But early in the ball game, through the middle innings, a lot of times he's going to let them swing.
Run blast in the 3rd for Young. Get the Cubs within a run.
Cubs don't figure to be much of a running team this year. Their strengths, work walks, see a lot of pitches, hit the ball out of the ballpark. That will still be the kind of club they are. If you were inclined to play a little hit and run, Chesney Young would be a good candidate. Preservation of outs, so important in this game. One of the reasons why Joe doesn't like to sacrifice, just doesn't want to give up outs, and that's another reason why they don't run a lot. Don't want to take chances and lose base runners caught stealing.
Hernandez makes the grab on the warning track. Pretty good day for a 9-hitter. Squared it up twice. The nucleus in terms of starting position players, I think Zobrist will be a guy they'll keep the closest eye on because not just of his age, but the fact that the last 2 years he has played all the way through the World Series. So in order to keep him fresh, So that works nicely with the idea of trying to get Baez at bats. I think it's also possible a lot of times in the late innings, after Zobrist has started the game at second, he might finish the game in left with Baez at second.
Yeah, I think, Javi Baez, for a quote-unquote bench player, is going to be on the field almost every day.
Two to Ben. Ruggiano makes the grab. Leadoff single. Cubs can't get him in. Trail 3-2 at the end of 5.
Welcome back. We've played 5. Giants lead the Cubs 3-2. The Cubs are introducing a game-changing new premier experience at Wrigley Field. With seats featuring prime views and access to an exclusive club, this experience will allow fans to enjoy Cubs baseball in a whole new way. Visit CubsPremier.com to join the Premier Client Priority List.
Sixth inning, 3-2 Giants. Second inning of work for Mike Montgomery. David Ross back from his latest stint on Dancing with the Stars is back with the Cubs.
The question was asked of me today. Who is the most famous backup catcher in baseball history? Bob Uecker or David Ross? Rossi's making a run at him.
Yeah, he is. Boy, that's a really good question. Uecker, that's a great choice. Called strike 3 to get Parker.
Or Joe Garagiola, who you talked about earlier. Yeah, locked him up with a good yacker.
Matt Caesar into the game playing right for Zobrist. This is pinch hitter Jae-Jun Hwang.
He batted .330 last year in Korea with 26 home runs. And he's having a heck of a spring as well.
Breaking ball strike. Curve at 75.
Maybe humped up a little bit extra on that one after the slow curve, trying to slip a piece of cheese by him and just overthrew it a little bit.
Long is 29 years old. He thought it was ball 4. Instead, it was strike 2. 6-time All-Star in Korea from Seoul, South Korea. And that is ball 4. That'll bring up the catcher, Hundley.
Jake Arrieta's line today, 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. He did not walk a man, struck out 7. My score sheet, I have him with 1 walk. This line I'm looking at online has him with none. Did he walk Hundley or hit him? He hit Hundley.
He hit him.
Hit him.
Yep.
Okay, that's where I erred.
Into right and down for a base hit. Huang on his way to third. It's a single for Hundley. And it'll bring up Tomlinson. Tomlinson has batted .299 in his major league career, 106 games over the last 2 seasons. Ball 1. Paid crowd today, 15,513. And that is a sellout.
Montgomery's got plus stuff. Low to mid-90s fastball. Good change, good curve. Throw a cutter on occasion.
Shallow center. Hayward's got it. Huang will hold it third. So 2 gone, and it's up to Matt Cain. I recall Jason Hayward as a Cardinal 2 years ago throwing out Anthony Rizzo at the plate.
Yeah.
You remember that play? I think on that play, Molina got hurt. Didn't we have like StatCast showing that he threw it at 95 miles an hour? Does that sound right?
That does ring a bell.
Strong and accurate. Jason Hayward. Usually from right, playing center today.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, medium fly ball to right when he's out there, and the man on third is a pitcher. Normally you're hoping that there's not going to be a play, but with Hayward, sometimes as a pitcher you would be thinking, go ahead and go. Especially if you're running out of gas out there on the mound. You're thinking, you got a better chance of getting them out than I do.
Well, balls caught by outfielders. You know, the stat heads say with one out, guys should run more often from third on the sacrifice fly attempt. And the reason is, Pete Palmer came up with it. He said you only need to be successful like 3 out of 10 times. Now that sounds like a terrible percentage, doesn't it? Aesthetically, the third base coach will get booed by the fans. Sending them too much. But Pete's point was sac fly attempts to score on that play are almost too successful. Matt Cain is going to give the Giants a multi-run lead as he just knocked in 2, and it's 5-2. It's a double.
So the Giants getting some pretty good swings at Montgomery here. It's their third hit against him in his 2 innings of work, or an inning and 2/3 to this point. A couple doubles and a single. There's also been a line out, and Cain helps his own cause.
Now Gorky Hernandez. So did I explain that correctly?
Yeah. That
teams don't take enough chances with one out on a sac fly to make an outfielder throw you out at the plate. And I think the outs recorded in that situation seem to carry too much weight maybe sometimes.
Because I think psychologically you say, well, if he didn't go, he's still standing there on third base. He's only 90 feet away from scoring. But with 2 outs.
So if you say the chances,
a 2-out sac fly or the infield out that produces a run, that all goes away.
Yes. So if your chances of scoring there are 27, 28%, if it's a 50-50 play or even a 40-60 play, the math tells you should try.
Mm-hmm. Right, and obviously I think you have to consider where you are in the batting order, where you are in the game situation, but just the pure math, I'm in agreement, I think. And how many times do you just see it when you think back to all the baseball you watch over the course of the year, where there's a routine fly ball to the outfield and the throw comes in and it's a short one hop and the catcher muffs it and you think, right? Man, if he had gone. You almost wish you could hand a microphone to the third base coach when the guy gets thrown out at the end of the. Well, here's what I was thinking, folks. You know, the numbers support me sending him here. I know it looks ugly. The throw was right on the money. My guy was out by 4 steps.
I'll tell you the other thing, especially on a really short fly ball, you might surprise the outfielder by going. Because there are some outfielders who just kind of assume, well, he won't run here, and you might not play it like you would in a spot where you expect the guy to go.
Almost like a delayed steal.
I think it would be a good spring training thing to tell your team every fly ball to the outfield with 1 out this spring we're running, just to see what the math looks like at the end of spring. Anyway,
make the minor leaguers do it.
Yeah, 5-2 Giants in the 6th. base hit. 5-3. As Baez knocks in Hayward.
They got to cash in that leadoff double. Deep fly ball gets him to third. Baez, a ground ball to the infield would have gotten the run home, but this little gravy gets the RBI single.
Baez will come out for a pinch runner. Gustavo Polanco will run for him. Kane done for the afternoon. Just under 100 pitches. 5-3 Giants in the sixth.
Travel like a world champion with Cubs destinations. Packages include game tickets, hotel accommodations, ballpark tours, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with a current Cub player. Be a part of our first trip of the season to Boston's Fenway Park, April 28th through the 30th. For more information, visit Cubs.com/destinations.
This is lefty Josh Osich.
Not having the best of springs, having allowed 10 hits and 8 walks in 9 innings of work. It's a hard thrower, power sinker. It's a lot of ground balls.
Montero fouls back. As I mentioned, going to break Gustavo Polanco. I think is running. We got two number 85. So the other one is Chesney Young. So. Bounced foul. That'll get in there. Montero's first hit today.
Osich jogging over towards third base to position himself for a potential throw there to back up. But as he's doing so, he's looking in at his catcher saying, man, that ball was up. I got it up there where he asked me to. You see where the Hundley sets the target. He got it there. Montero just beat him.
Stella playing third today. Trying to grab potentially the last spot on the bench. Long pause by the lefty. And the fastball is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Osich pitched at Oregon State. Another ball hit well, and this one will get to the wall. Polanco scores. Montero to third. He'll be held. Listella with a double, and it's back to a 1-run ball game, 5-4.
Well, outstanding work by these Cub hitters in this inning. Listella against a hard-throwing left-hander, hangs in there, gets a pitch about belt high out over the plate. So Osich, who is an extreme ground ball pitcher, having a hard time getting the ball down. I mean, he can overpower you. He goes 95, 96 miles an hour with that heater. So far, the Cubs have been on him.
Infield in, second and third. John Jay takes ball 1. Ian Happ is on deck in the pitcher spot. So it'll be less than a quality start officially for Matt Cain, but I'd call it a spring training quality start. I'm sure he's got to be pretty happy as his manager with what he did today.
Yeah. It has been a struggle for him throughout the spring. He was much better here today, at least based on the numbers.
3-1 on Jay. And they're loaded for Ian Happ. First, Dave Righetti will head out to the mound.
Yeah, not good for Osich to come in facing a string of left-handed batters and not being able to retire any of them.
A 17-year run for Dave Righetti, who is a Giants pitching coach. Longest tenure among all pitching coaches currently in the majors. Here's Happ, who's had an unbelievable spring. He's knocked in 17, second most in the Cactus League. And he hits one in the air to right. This ball drifting on Ruggiano. He can't make the play, and it'll bounce out of play. So the Cubs will get a couple of runs, and they'll take the lead. Ian Happ does it again.
He's just been a monster this spring, hitting the ball hard almost every time. Now, this one he didn't really get all of, but he's a strong young man. A misread by Ruggiano in right field. Perhaps reading the trajectory, thinking, well, that's just a routine shallow fly ball. I don't think Happ was all that excited about it when it left his bat. And then you see Ruggiano trying to make the late adjustment here. Just trying to get open downfield with his quarterback scrambling, trying to find an open space.
Still only one out, second and third for Young. So Happ has knocked in 19 this spring. He'll start the year in the minor leagues, but as we say in the game, he'll be just a phone call away.
Or a text message. I don't know if anybody calls anymore.
He is just a text message away. Yeah, we probably need to update that. One and two to Young.
Got a little out of his game there. Got a little greedy, understandably, with a couple men in scoring position. It's a young kid who's hit everywhere he has gone. At close to 400 in college. He's better than 300 lifetime as a minor leaguer. Either led the NCAA in hits or finished runner-up one year at Mercer.
And he strikes out this time. That'll be it for Osich. Well, the Giants bullpen here to start their day after Kane left. Might be giving Bruce Bochy flashbacks. 6-5 Cubs in the sixth. We'll be back.
The Cubs offer baseball summer camps presented by ATI Physical Therapy and Ideal Industries. Young sluggers ages 5 to 13 have the chance to suit up in Cubs gear. Meet a current Cub player during a VIP Wrigley Field visit and receive top-notch baseball instruction. Enroll now at any of the 8 Chicagoland locations. Visit Cubs.com/kids for more information.
This is 27-year-old Roberto Gomez.
On for the 8th time this spring. He's 1-0 with a .360 for 5 innings of work. You saw that shot as we came back. The flags really snapping out there. Wind has picked up in intensity.
Spent a lot of time in the Rays organization. Gomez now wearing a Giants uniform. 6'5", 180. Second and third, 2 outs, 4 runs in to take the lead.
Well, my old partner Milo Hamilton would say he's a string bean right-hander.
Yeah. I was just thinking it was 5-2 going to the 9th inning in Game 4, wasn't it? Cubs winning 6-5. In the division series last October. And we haven't mentioned it. After the bullpen struggles in the postseason, the Giants went out and signed Mark Melancon to be their closer. Melancon turning 32 today. So Santiago Casilla is gone. He's back with Oakland. Sergio Romo gone. He's with the Dodgers. Javier Lopez retired. A lot of changes out there in that bullpen. Will Smith will have Tommy John surgery, so he'll miss the whole season. One and two to Caesar. And just out of play.
Yeah, it's a tough decision for a club to make, to go out and spend that kind of money to invest in a closer. You know, ideally, when you have guys like Casilla and Romo and they're coming to the end of their run and you feel like they're not as effective, you'd like to have nurtured some younger players through your system, much more cost efficient, that you could hand the ball over to in those high leverage situations late. And obviously the Giants felt like they didn't have that option, so they went out and spent a whole lot of money on Mark Melancon, who's, you know, obviously a proven closer, but a lot of debate in the industry about, you know, how much money do you spend a guy who's going to make, you know, pitch 60-some innings for you.
4 years, $62 million for Melancon. Aroldis Chapman returned to the Yankees on a 5-year, $86 million contract. Well, I think the bottom line is if you make the playoffs, those guys become really, really important, as we found out last postseason.
Yeah, I mean, but and that's the rub too, because he also finished the game with Mike Montgomery on the mound, who got his first career save in Game 7 of a World Series.
Yeah. Caesar strikes out. Big inning for the Cubs. They put up 4. Ian Happ gives them the lead for the first time today. It's 6-5. Well, the Cubs lead this game 6-5. Giants, however, started the scoring 2 pitches into the game. Denard Span with a leadoff homer. Brandon Crawford doubling. Jared Parker would knock him in. So they had the early lead. Span, first 2 innings, home run, bunt, single, and would later score on a 2-base wild pitch. Matt Cain, after the Cubs got within 1, knocked in a couple to make it 5-2, but the Cubs just plated 4 and lead 6-5. Chris Marrero, the batter. Brian Dunsing, the pitcher. One ball, 1 strike on him. And you see the numbers for Dunsing this spring. First year as a Cub.
Former starting pitcher. In the last few years, he's been working out of the bullpen. He was a Twin, an Oriole. Kind of a crafty lefty. Throws across his body a little bit.
See Marrero with 6 home runs. Taylor Davis is the new catcher. That one yanked to left and caught by Happ. Ian Happ into the ball game after pinch hitting and getting into the mix defensively in left.
Ball appeared to have a little top spin on it. Happ got a nice read. Nice catch. 1 out.
Yasiel Balagert is at first. Carlos Peñalver is at short. Matt Caesar in center. John Andrioli in right. Breaking ball strike on ex-Cub Justin Ruggiano. Justin with just 9 games combined last year with Texas and the Mets. This is his 5th team since he was a Cub in 2014. Seattle, the Dodgers, the Rangers, the Mets, and the Giants.
We get to know a lot of folks that way. Travel around, play for a lot of different clubs, different organizations, been part of the year at AAA, part of the year at the big leagues. It's worse ways to make a living.
He went. Call made by Mike Casiopo, the plate umpire. 2 outs.
Saw that ball up in his eyes and he could not resist. He tried to say no. He said, yeah, bring me that molten lava cake anyway. I know it's not good for me.
Juan Siriaco.
Wasn't he on The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
I don't know, was he? You got the Google machine. Caesar battling the
sun. That's a battle. Oh, my eyes are watering just watching that play.
And will stretch in Mesa as the Cubs lead the Giants. It's 6-5. Nothing in the third. Chesney Young cranking a 2-run homer. Jason Hayward starting things in the 6th with a double. Javier Baez would knock him in. Miguel Montero keeping the hit parade going. Tommy La Stella RBI double. Cubs within a run, and then off the bench, Ian Happ into the right field corner. 2-run, 2-base hit. And the Cubs lead this game 6-5 as they'll try to add on here in the bottom of the 7th against Stephen Okert. John Andrioli, the batter, and strike one called.
Well, Kurt had a little time with the Giants last year. That was his first exposure to the big leagues. Pitched 16 times. Fashioned a 3.21 ERA. Heater, slider, cutter, and change. For the spring, he's been awfully good.
Well, you were just describing a night out for Jim Leyland. A heater, a slider, and some change. Ruggiano's got it.
That could be a t-shirt. Hey, give me the Leyland special, a heater and a slider.
Yasiel Ballagert. His first AB. Slings it in there for a strike. John Lackey will pitch the Cactus League finale for the Cubs tomorrow. Kendall Graveman will go for the A's. Thursday night in Houston, Brett Anderson for the Cubs, Lance McCullers for the Astros, and then Friday afternoon we'll have it for you here on CSN. Kyle Hendricks and Joe Musgrove. The count is full. That one crushed, and it's going to go. 7-5.
They laid off that little backdoor cutter on 3-1, and it looked like they were going to try to run one in on his hands, and it never got there. He just cut it off and hammered that ball. That's the old Ballagert. 19 home runs and A-ball last year. Showing some very impressive power. Big fella leaned on that one.
Two and 0 on Davis. That's in for a strike.
Davis, his approach, very unique, how he lifts that leg and holds it there.
Two and two. The shortstop Peñalver on deck. Some good swings here.
Yeah, I imagine a little frustrated. There's a couple of pitches I'm sure he feels like he should have done a little something with. I mean, he's getting a good swing, but Kurtz, a couple of pitches right out over the heart of the plate for him.
Hernandez in center. 2 down. Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Well, the shortstop Peñalver. Seen him get a few plate appearances late in games the last couple of weeks. One and two. They chased a bad one, and that's it for the Cubs in the 7th. They do get an add-on run as Ballagard went deep. It's 7-5 to the 8th. Late innings as we get into the 8th. Cubs lead 7-5, and we are definitely at that point in the spring where health is the top priority.
Yeah, we talk about it every spring, and you know, from day one of spring training, manager will tell you his priorities: keep everybody healthy, get everybody ready to play a championship season. The Cubs have been pretty fortunate in that regard this spring. They haven't had any real significant injuries, but yeah, the last thing you want to see happen is for somebody to go down this late in the exhibition season.
Speaking of that, Eduardo Nunez had been dealing with some right shoulder soreness as he gets a late pinch hit at bat. Dunsing from the stretch. Stab. Tommy La Stella. He robs Nunez of a double. One away.
Well, what a play by Tommy La Stella. Wow. Oh, sharply hit. Can't do it any better than that.
Long walked and scored in the 6th. On a hop to second. That's Young. And that's the second out. That'll bring up Hundley, the catcher. That loss in Game 4 of the division series last year for the Giants snapped 2 incredible streaks. They had won a major league record 10 consecutive games when facing playoff elimination. And if you include wild card games under Bruce Bochy, they had won 11 consecutive postseason rounds. That's quite a streak.
Yeah, it really is. So clearly they were due to lose one.
One and one on Hundley. The Giants certainly feel that they are in their championship window that I guess began when they won the 2010 World Series a couple years later. It kind of had been on that even year thing until the Cubs won last season.
Cubs looking to become the first team to repeat as world champions since the Yankees in 98, 99, and 2000. Good changeup.
Nice work by Brian Dunsing today. 7-5 Cubs late. Exclusive interviews and behind-the-scenes footage of Game 7 will re-air this Thursday at 7, presented by Binny's Beverage Depot.
You know, if you close your eyes and listen to that popcorn pop, you might think it's rain falling.
Yeah. On the roof of your car.
Be a good white noise.
That looks good. Good eats. Derek Law now pitching for the Giants.
Derek Law, right-hander, so far this spring has not posted particularly good numbers, but he did that last year. He was good for the Giants last year in 61 appearances, had a 2.13 earned run average. That was his first bit of work at the major league level.
Well, Stella, fresh off that diving catch, grounds out to Tomlinson.
"55 innings of work for Law last year for the Giants. He struck out 50, walked only 9.
This is Steven Bruno off the bench. Seventh-round pick, 2012, out of the University of Virginia. He grounds to the shortstop, Siriaco. And now Happ, who gave the Cubs the lead in the 6th inning with a pinch hit 2-run double. And 1 on Ian. Hitting over 400 this spring.
On base plus slugging up over 1,200.
Little quick pitch on a breaking ball. Look at that. On an 0-2. Happ trying to make second, and he will.
What you're going to say, Happ trying to make the ball club. That's the way this kid is playing. Man, every time up, seemingly something good happens for Ian Happ. So a little pop fly ball double last time, and now a really well-struck baseball. Stays back on that breaking pitch, lashes it to right, and not willing to settle for 1. Out of the box, he's thinking 2 bases, and he earned it. That's smart baseball play, too, with 2 outs and nobody on. Good time to push it.
Young has gone the distance. 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer. Outside on a fastball. 2-1. Law in front of the mound. We'll go to the 9th inning as the Cubs try to preserve a 2-run lead.
7-5 Cubs lead. Top of the ninth. Showing a piece of Cubs history as part of the Cubs' ongoing effort to restore and modernize Wrigley Field. Several sections of seats have been or will be removed. These seats are now available to purchase in sets of 2. Visit Cubs.com/seat sale for more information.
Safe spot for Pierce Johnson.
Pierce working for the 7th time this spring. He's pitched to an ERA of 3. 4-6 at Iowa last year. 11 starts, 11 times out of the pen. 25 years of age now is Johnson. And he's going to be used exclusively out of the bullpen this season. That's the plan anyway.
Starts Tomlinson off with a strike. Johnson was a sandwich pick, 43rd overall, 2012. When you're a sandwich pick, do they say, would you like chips or fries or salad?
Yeah,
I'll just have
I guess
the
we
sandwich.
should explain that. A sandwich, you're between first and second round.
Oh, nice play by Bruno. Just took over at third. Now the left fielder, Hunter Cole. He came into the game in the 8th, but I don't think I told you. But trust me, he was in there.
Didn't happen unless we say it.
David Garner. Just in case.
Yeah, also, too, if I'm David Garner, I'm over from minor league camp. I said, come on, let me get up and warm up at least. Kind of feel like I'm part of the action here.
No doubt. He went. Couldn't get him to bite on a slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Not where Johnson wanted it. And that's going to one-hop the fence in left, and Cole has a double.
Yeah, the previous slider he missed well off the plate, so he just tried to set his sights more towards the plate, but I think he was hoping for a strike-to-ball slider, and that was just a strike-to-strike slider. Stayed right in the middle of the zone. Somewhere in between those last 2 pitches is a good one.
Gorkys Hernandez.
Pierce Johnson has got a little bit of that quick short arm action. Reminds me a little bit of Kevin Gregg. Or maybe it's just the glasses.
The glasses, that's part of it. Let me think Kevin Gregg here. Yeah, a little bit.
Retired, Kevin?
I believe he is.
That's what happens when you tell yourself you're going to throw a nasty one. You tend to muscle up a little bit. Just don't finish the pitch.
Cubs trailed 3-0 early. Took the lead in the 6th. Full count on Hernandez. Chris Marrero is on deck. Try it again.
Johnson in his career covering 5 minor league seasons, 26-19 with a .309 earned run average, 384 strikeouts and 390 innings of work.
Peñalver can't get him.
Yeah, gave it a solid effort. Hernandez able to beat it down the line. Gallagher tried to cheat a little bit coming off the bag at first, seeing if he could influence the first base umpire, but he wouldn't have any of it.
Well, the double play is now in order. First and second for Marrero. Hit well. Caesar's back on it, and it's gone. That is a go-ahead 3-run homer for Chris Marrero. It's 8-7 Giants.
Well, the good news is the Cub fans are going to see a bottom of the ninth. Morrow's having a big spring, and he unloaded on that one.
Another shot to center. This time Ruggiano going. So they go back to back.
Yeah, Ruggiano's always been a pretty good fastball hitter and appeared to be sitting on one there. So the problem with Pearson this outing is having a hard time locating that slider, so the hitters to a certain extent can disregard that pitch and sit fastball. That one drifts into the swing, into the power of Ruggiano.
One and nothing on Siriaco. A 4-run ninth, and the Giants have the lead 9-7. Breaking ball missed inside. 2-1. Marrero's homer. A 3-run blast, and then the next pitch, Ruziano. Onto the berm and straightaway center. And 1-4, and that will probably be it for Johnson. Here comes Joe Madden. So we'll have a pitching change here in the ninth. Still only 1 out, 4 runs in, and we'll be right back. Dowry Torres is a new Cubs pitcher.
He's 23 years of age, 6'3", $170. And you see his numbers at Myrtle Beach last year, 42 games. He pitched to a 3.56 ERA and averaged a strikeout per inning.
Tough day for Pierce Johnson. And here's former Cub Tim Fedorovich. And Davis just threw out Siriaco. That helps. 2 down.
Quick feet there by Davis. He gets off a good strong throw right on the money to get his man.
One and one meantime on Fedorovich. The Marrero homer is 7th. That ties him for the Cactus League lead. The Giants beat reporters tweeting that it's his 8th, so I'm assuming there was an exhibition homer that didn't count in the official spring standings.
The official stats that don't count.
Right. Another ball hit a ton, and this one will go. That's a 3rd homer of the inning for the Giants. 10-7.
The rally they were looking for 5 months ago. I seem to recall Tim Fedorovich having a real good spring for the Cubs last year. Double, single, homer, 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 walk, homer in this inning.
Strike called on Wong. Jae-Jun Wong. Oh and 2. And a solid single to center. If I asked you who is the major league home run leader in spring training, would you know the answer?
No, I know Bryce Harper's having a pretty good spring.
You're correct. 8 home runs going into play today. 21 games.
It's because they're pitching to him. Because they're exhibition games. He's going to have to be patient during the regular year. Well, just a little more discerning with the fastball, I think, is the key here in this inning, man. There's been a lot of them right out over the heart of the plate. Sometimes young pitchers don't, you know, they want to throw strikes, and they're just too aggressive, catching too much of the plate. Hitter's pretty good at delivering that message.
Long run in for Young. Short toss to Ballagert. Damage done, though. 5 big ones for the Giants, who now lead 10-7 with 3 outs to go. Well, Cubs led by 2 going into this inning. They now trail by 3. It's Alberto Suarez on for the Giants.
7 games this spring. He is 1-1 with a 4.35 ERA. Fedorovich stays in the game to catch. Suarez, another of the Giant pitchers who made his major league debut last year. He was 3-5 with a 4.29, made 12 starts, and also worked 10 times out of the bullpen.
1-1 on Caesar. And in the air, center field. Andreoli with 1 out. Albert Suarez, 6'3", 235. Hit me over breaking ball is over for a strike. One and two.
I like that little slider, little baby slider. That's pretty good movement on a two-seam fastball.
Last game in Arizona tomorrow. We will have both games on television from Houston, WGN Thursday night. CSN, 1 o'clock Central on Friday. And it all starts for real on Sunday night in St. Louis.
John Lester pitched 6 innings yesterday in his final spring training tune-up.
Fair ball, and it gets under the glove of Wong. Andreoli on his way to second.
If he gloves it cleanly, I don't know that he's going to throw him out. Andreoli can really run well. By not at least knocking it down or gloving it cleanly, it allows Andreoli to go all the way to second base, takes away the double play opportunity.
They have given Andreoli a double. It was Ballagert who homered in his first at bat in the 7th.
Two long balls for the Cubs today. They hit about 30 of them in that two-game set over in Las Vegas.
Wow. Yeah, that was quite an offensive explosion. Right field, and that'll just be foul. That would have brought the tying run to the plate.
By inches.
One pitch, blown outside. Yeah, you and I have seen a lot of runs, haven't we? Was it 11-7 Cubs on Saturday? In Las Vegas, 22-4 on Sunday, and 10-7 today. Feathered foul that time.
This was a pitcher's duel compared to Sunday game. Cubs lead the Cactus League in home runs. They've hit about 50 of them.
Broken bat roller. Wong will glove, throw, and get him. 2 outs. Runner at third. And it will be up to Taylor Davis. Well, I guess if your bullpen's going to give up a big lead in the ninth, you'd certainly hope it's in spring training and not in the regular season or the postseason. Cubs had this happen to them a few times early in the spring, not so much lately, but they're going to drop a 10-7 decision here today to the Giants, who scored 5 in the ninth to win it. Matt Cain and Jake Arrieta, I'm sure largely were happy with their outings today and starting roles. And how about Ian Happ? 2 more doubles for Happ today off the bench, hitting well over 400 on the spring.
Yeah, he has clearly been the story of spring training. The Cubs, one of the Cubs' top 2 prospects, he and Eloy Jimenez, and he has just continued to impress with the way he has swung the bat, the way he has approached the game, the way he has played the game all spring long.
So that will wrap things up from Arizona. For JD, our director Jim Angio, our producer Michelle Godwin, our associate producer Chris Kampka, our tech manager Mark Harper, our executive producer Jim Corno Jr., and our entire crew. This is Len Casper saying so long, and join us 1 o'clock Central Time Friday as the Cubs take on the Houston Astros. Final score again, Giants 10, Cubs 7. You've been watching Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago.